What does it really mean to heal, especially now in this world that seems to demand perfection all the time?
Right. And how does art fit in?
Exactly. Yeah, how can something like art play a role, in our tech-heavy lives? Today, we're doing a deep dive into something pretty fascinating, I think. It's an audiovisual project called Masterpiece, Healing in Words and Sound, AI Gen by TATANKA.
Yeah, it just came out recently. The different parts released June 26, 2025 and October 1st, 2024.
And it's not just like an album. It feels more like an introspective journey from ruin to radiance, as they put it.
It's quite unique, really pushes boundaries. It's this blend of ambient music, spoken word.
And AI, right? That's the really intriguing part.
Exactly. A bold collaboration with artificial intelligence. We're talking tools like ChatGPT, maybe for lyrical ideas, Suno for some musical patterns, and Refusion, possibly influencing those unique sonic textures.
Yeah.
All woven together with, more standard tools too, like 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗓, Audacity,
Wow.
even running on Ubuntu Linux.
Yeah.
It's really a statement on how modern tech can be used for, well, profound artistic expression.
That sets it up perfectly. So our mission here in this deep dive is to unpack what Masterpiece is really trying to do.
Which seems to be illustrating that human journey, right? From fragmentation back to wholeness.
Precisely. We'll focus on three key pillars. First, the role music plays in emotional healing. Second, that complex interplay between identity and reclaiming yourself.
Self-reclamation, yeah.
And third, the really interesting, maybe even challenging implications of humans and AI collaborating on art.
Okay.
Ultimately, this project frames art as,
Yeah.
well, as therapy, as a story, and kind of like a mirror for the self. Let's jump in. So for anyone familiar with, the messy reality of healing,
Which is most of us, probably.
right, Masterpiece offers this view that resonates. Healing isn't this straight line. It's not about fixing yourself. It's often invisible, deeply personal.
And definitely not neat.
Not neat at all.
Yeah.
But what makes this project stand out is how it shows that truth through sound and words.
Yeah.
How music can be like a frontline tool for self-care, not just background noise.
And the core insight there, I think, is how Masterpiece makes that invisible journey visible, tangible, almost.
How so?
Well, take tracks like Broken Light or Whole. They don't just talk about healing. They sort of embody those quiet wins.
Quiet victories.
Like managing to set a boundary finally, or just recognizing your own pain without judgment, or even just breathing through anxiety.
Small things, but huge things.
Exactly. The project argues these aren't minor details. They're crucial brushstrokes in your own, personal masterpiece.
You mentioned the music itself becoming a self-care tool, like a sanctuary. Can you elaborate on how? How do those minimalist sounds and echoes actually hold you?
That's a great question. It's in the design. The soft ambient piano, the simple arrangements, those warm echoes, they're intentional. They don't just accompany the words, they hold them, like you said.
Yeah.
The music deliberately moves away from typical song structures.
Less verse, chorus verse.
Way less. This opens up space. It allows you, the listener, to project your own feelings right into the sound. It becomes immersive, personal, therapeutic.
So it's not performing for you.
No, it's creating a space with you.
That's a powerful shift, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we often chase that big aha moment, that dramatic breakthrough.
Right.
But Masterpiece seems to whisper, no, strength is often just taking the next quiet breath, honoring your own pace. It makes me think of tracks like Sound of Rain or From Frost, Fire.
Yeah.
The project calls each ambient track a brushstroke of healing.
That's a lovely phrase.
It is. It's like each note, each soft sound is just gently adding to your inner landscape,
Yeah.
slowly building peace.
Precisely. These pieces function almost like guided meditations. They draw your attention to subtle things, the calm of rain, the slow pace of growth. It really drives home that healing isn't just about big catharsis. It's also about those daily gentle reminders that, growth can be quiet, it can be unhurried.
And how does it wrap up? The coda.
The coda masterpiece. It's this powerful affirmation of rebirth. Not just ending, but declaring that the healing journey wasn't about going back, but becoming something new, luminous, whole.
Wow.
What's really fascinating, I think, is how Masterpiece lets vulnerability become art, and then that art becomes a kind of medicine. It creates this genuinely sacred listening experience.
Transforming sound into a sacred space.
Yeah.
That's profound. But okay, in that healing journey, what about reclaiming yourself, your identity?
Yeah, that's the next big layer, isn't it?
It is. The project explores how trauma can fracture identity, but also how art can help rebuild it. Masterpiece argues that identity can be repaired,
Yeah.
not by chasing perfection.
But through authenticity, radical authenticity.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
tracks like Authentic or Homeless, they really capture that feeling, that emotional state of feeling too much or not enough.
Which so many people grapple with, especially in a world obsessed with labels.
Right. The project champions this idea of an identity that's uncontained, unperformed, deeply individual.
It's an invitation, really. Define yourself on your own terms. Reject the outside pressure.
And Authentic goes even deeper. It critiques how women or androgynous identities are often perceived.
But it becomes broader, doesn't it? A metaphor for anyone who doesn't fit neatly in a box.
Totally. And it's not angry, it's more like a testimony. It affirms that strength and softness, chaos and calm, they can coexist.
That to be whole means being true, not necessarily consistent.
That feels radical. Does the project offer like a roadmap for how to embrace that in a world that wants labels?
Not a step-by-step guide, no.
Yeah.
But its power is maybe in the affirmation itself. In presenting these complex emotional states, it acts like a mirror.
So seeing it reflected helps you accept it in yourself.
I think so. That radical acceptance of the self, scars and all, that's the emotional core, the thesis of the whole work.
And other tracks.
Well, you have pieces like The Awakening and Recall. They dive into memory, grief, and that profound choice to just keep breathing. They remind us the path to selfhood isn't straight. It's a spiral. You revisit old wounds, but hopefully with new wisdom each time.
You can hear that wisdom too, and wait, I think. That message about seeking love from wholeness, not desperation.
Yes. Don't look for someone to complete you, but someone to celebrate your fullness.
And then from Frost, Fire, again, encouraging patience, honor your pace, consistent self-care over rushing things.
So Masterpiece really becomes this philosophical journey. It advocates for accepting yourself, radically, scars included, as the ultimate masterpiece.
Okay, so art as therapy, art as the path back to self.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean for creativity itself?
Right.
Especially when, machines get involved.
Ah, the AI question.
Right, Masterpiece is really bold here. It transparently credits its co-creators humans alongside AI platforms, ChatGPT, Meta.ai, Refusion, Suno.
Which definitely challenges our usual ideas about who the author is.
Absolutely. It forces some big questions, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, can AI understand pain? Can it actually contribute to art that heals? Deep questions.
And what's the project's take? Does it answer that?
It doesn't claim definitive answers, but it proposes something interesting. That with the right intention, the right human guidance, AI can support deeply human experiences.
Oh, as a tool.
As more than just a tool, maybe. As an amplifier. Or a mirror. Not a replacement, crucially. Think about it. Maybe AI helped articulate some nuances in Authentic by suggesting unusual word combinations.
Or generated sound textures in broken light.
Exactly. Textures a human might not have thought of, adding unexpected emotional depth through those machine patterns.
So the process becomes a kind of symphony of cooperation, as they put it.
I like that phrase. It avoids the usual dystopian machines taking over narrative.
Yeah, it suggests more of a hybrid future, co-creation. AI helping humans express things that were maybe inexpressible before.
And it also highlights using open source tools, community input, which points towards a more democratized way of creating art.
That reframes the whole AI discussion, moving it away from just fear.
Towards possibility, especially if the creativity is grounded in care, transparency, and genuine artistry. The idea seems to be about co-creating new souls, fusing human sensitivity with machine intelligence.
A very forward-looking view of creativity. Extending human ability, not replacing human emotion.
Precisely.
So wrapping things up, Masterpiece feels like more than just an album, more than an experiment.
It's presented almost as an act of becoming.
Yeah, and an invitation. A quiet revolution of self-love is how they describe it. It encourages you, the listener, to see yourself not as something broken that needs fixing,
but as an evolving canvas, worthy of every line, every crack, every scar.
The journey it maps out is about presence, isn't it? Not perfection.
Exactly. It's not about ignoring the dark parts of yourself. It's about learning to make the dark glow.
Make the dark glow. Meaning what, exactly?
Meaning acknowledging those difficult experiences, integrating them, finding strength and wisdom within them rather than trying to suppress or deny them. It's a really powerful message of self-acceptance. And growth.
It really is. And as Masterpiece offers this radical invitation to self-love, urging us to embrace our whole selves, it also kind of nudges us towards something bigger, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, if healing is a personal revolution, what does that mean for us together, collectively? It brings to mind some words from Sitting Bull.
Okay.
He said, "It is through this mysterious power that we too have our being, and we therefore yield to our neighbors, even to our animal neighbors, the same right as ourselves to inhabit this vast land."
Powerful.
And he also said, "Let us put our minds together and see what life we can make for our children."
That connection between the inner and the outer.
Exactly. So the final thought maybe for you to ponder is this. How might that individual journey of healing, of self-reclamation that Masterpiece explores, how might that connect to Sitting Bull's call? To this broader idea of shared existence, of collective creation? Not just building peace within ourselves, but maybe building a better life together in our wider world. Something to think about.